Hello, Yankees universe, and welcome back to your go-to channel for the absolute latest on our Bronx Bombers. Today we have 3 jam-packed updates that have just come to our notice in the last few hours, and trust me, you are going to want to hear every last detail. We're talking about a superstar hitting the open market, a massive sigh of relief regarding the captain, and a front office shakeup that signals big changes are on the horizon for 2026. So if you are a true Yankees fan, you don't want to miss these updates. And yes, before we start the video, I have to ask, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you can stay in the loop with us on everything New York Yankees. All right, let's get into our first major story. Update 1, the Bellinger gamble. Is a mega deal on the horizon? Our first piece of news is the one that has the entire league buzzing, and it directly impacts the Yankees' offseason plans in a massive way. According to sources, outfielder Cody Bellinger officially plans to opt out of the final year of his contract and become a free agent. Now, we all knew this was coming, didn't we? After the comeback season he had, there was absolutely no way he was going to pass up a chance to test the market. Bellinger, who signed a 3-year deal with the Cubs back in 2024, has a player option for $25 million. But he is about to cash in on a contract that will be significantly larger than that. And the big question on every Yankee fan's mind is, will Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman be the ones to write that check? Let's be real. Bellinger was a crucial part of the Yankees' offense in 2025. He provided that powerful, middle-of-the-order left-handed bat that this lineup has been crying out for. Think about the balance he brought, protecting guys like Judge and Soto and making our batting order one of the most feared in the American League. Losing him leaves a significant hole, not just in the outfield, but in the heart of our lineup. The Yankees front office now has a monumental decision to make. Do they go all in to re-sign him, knowing the price tag could soar well into the hundreds of millions of dollars, or do they pivot and look for answers elsewhere? The market for a player of his caliber, a former most valuable player who has rebuilt his value, is going to be intense. We're talking about the Cubs wanting him back, and you can bet other big market teams will be making calls. This is the first major domino of the offseason, and its outcome will shape everything else the Yankees do. This is a high-stakes poker game, and the Yankees are right at the table. Update 2. A bombshell trade rumor. Could a long-lost star finally come to the Bronx? All right, if you thought the Cody Bellinger situation was a big deal, buckle up, because our next story is a potential blockbuster that would send shockwaves through the entire sport. We're talking about a player who many of us thought was destined for pinstripes years ago, Bryce Harper. Now, I know what you're thinking. Harper? In New York? After all this time? But hear me out. Whispers are getting louder that Harper is growing frustrated with the situation in Philadelphia, and reports of potential trade talks have begun to surface. Harper himself has expressed discomfort with the trade rumors, stating he gave his all to Philly and hated the constant speculation. But in baseball, where there's smoke, there's often fire, and if a player of his caliber becomes available, you better believe Brian Cashman will be making a call. Let's rewind the clock. Remember that big free agent winter after the 2018 season? The Yankees passed on both Harper and Manny Machado, opting for DJ LeMahieu instead. While DJ was great for a while, Harper has continued to build a Hall of Fame caliber career. Passing on him then, a generational left-handed power bat who grew up idolizing Mickey Mantle, felt like a missed opportunity. This could be the Yankees' chance to right that wrong. But how would it even work? That's the million-dollar question, or rather the $150 million question, which is what's left on his contract. The biggest issue is his position. Harper has been playing first base since his Tommy John surgery. That's Ben Rice's spot. But the front office could get creative here. What if Rice becomes the everyday catcher? Austin Wells had a tough sophomore season, hitting just .219 with a 94 weighted runs created plus, and even lost playing time to Rice at points. This move would get your best bats in the lineup. Then there's the designated hitter spot. With Giancarlo Stanton's injury history, he played in just 77 games this past season. There will be plenty of at-bats available. You could rotate Judge, Harper, and Rice through the designated hitter spot to keep them fresh. It's a complex puzzle, but the thought of adding Bryce Harper's fire and legendary power to this lineup is something every single one of us has to be excited about. It's a long shot, but crazier things have happened, and the idea alone is electrifying. Update 3. Never again. Chapman's scorching attack on the Yankees front office. And for our final story of the day, we're digging into some explosive comments from a former Yankees star that are sure to get the fan base talking. Aroldis Chapman, the Cuban Missile himself, just went on a podcast and did not hold back about his time in the Bronx. In a recent appearance on the Swing Completo podcast, Chapman was asked if he would ever consider a return to the Yankees. His answer was shocking and direct. He said, and I quote, "No way, not even dead. If I were told that I was being traded to New York, I'd pack my things and go home. I'll retire right on the spot if that happens." Wow. Just let that sink in for a moment. A player who was a 3-time All-Star for the Yankees, a guy who was the anchor of our bullpen for 5 straight postseason runs from 2017 to 2021, would rather end his career than put on the pinstripes again. He made it crystal clear his frustration isn't with his former teammates or even manager Aaron Boone, who he says he is still friends with. His anger is directed squarely at the bosses in the front office. Chapman claims he dealt with a lot of disrespect and felt the organization was actively trying to get rid of him during that messy 2022 season. We all remember how it ended. He was removed from the closer role, had that bizarre leg infection from a tattoo, skipped a mandatory workout, and was ultimately left off the American League Division Series roster. It was a chaotic and ugly divorce. To add insult to injury for us fans, after bouncing around a few teams, Chapman has had a career resurgence with our bitter rivals, the Boston Red Sox. He just finished a dominant season where he posted a 1.17 earned run average and a 0.70 walks plus hits per inning pitched, both career bests, and signed a new contract with them for the 2026 season. His comments pull back the curtain on the internal politics of the Yankees organization and raise serious questions about how the front office handles its players. Love him or hate him, Chapman's words carry weight, and this is a story that will have ripple effects for a long time. And that's a wrap on today's deep dive into the hottest Yankees stories making waves just hours ago. From Cody Bellinger hitting the open market to the earth-shattering possibility of a Bryce Harper trade, and now Aroldis Chapman's scathing remarks about the front office, there is so much to unpack. We want to hear from you, the heart of Yankees universe. What are your thoughts on all this? Should the Yankees break the bank to re-sign Bellinger? Is the dream of seeing Harper in pinstripes a risk worth taking? And how do you feel about Chapman's comments? Drop all your opinions and hot takes in the comments section below. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed the updates, and most importantly, subscribe to New York Yankees News Network so you never miss a moment of the action. We've got so much more to cover this offseason, and you'll find it all right here. Until next time, keep the faith, and let's go Yankees.